Yo guys, welcome back to another video. Today I want to do a serious topic about Medaka Korakami or Medaka Korakami. Pretty much this is pretty much a video on breaking down her character, which is her character is deeply flawed, and some people would call her a Mary Sue, which is just not true. And in this video, I'm about to break down why she's not Mary Sue. So for people that actually think she's a Mary Sue, needs to pay attention to this video and what I'm about to say. So right off the bat, the main question is, if someone as powerful as Medaka, does that make her a Mary Sue? Now, a Mary Sue is an over-idealized and seamlessly flawless fictional character, one often recognized as either a self-insertion character for the author or a vessel for wish fulfillment. Now, these characters are often physically beautiful, exceptionally skilled, and universally admired, but only within the confines of the story. Now, readers, on the other hand, usually hate these characters. And with good reason as well. They're bland, snowflakey, and pretty insufferable to read or about listening to. In fact, the label of Mary Sue is often synonymously used with bad character. And even if the original definition, was a little more specific than that. Now, it exceeds at literally everything that she puts her mind into check. It is beloved by everyone she's meet. Check. Well, almost 2% of the, who people that hate her as villains. The plot and the universe around her. Check. Called Medaka Box. Never struggles. Never loses. Nope. Most of her fights, she struggles and she lost fights. And lost student council president election, and almost lost her best friend, and almost lost her life more than time she counts. She's falsely flawed. No, her biggest flaw is that her inability to understand humanity and humans is a very dramatical flaw that is played straight. Predestined for greatness. Check. She's a child prodigy. Wins upstaging all the other characters in the book series / universe. No. She is upstaged by Kumagara. She's upstaged by Kumagara and has put over the characters and built up other characters. So yes. Everyone who is against her is the bad guy. No. Zenikishi doesn't agree with her and he far from the bad guy. In fact, he is another main character. She's always right. Wrong. She's been called out for her few big fuck ups and abusing Zakichi numerous of times. On the surface, Medaka is a textbook Mary Sue. She's very good at everything. She's loved by everyone. And she is insanely OP. Even in the verse of insanely OP characters, but the plot cleverly avoids all the mistakes of making OP characters and is actually a clever deconstruction of the overpowered Mary Sue trope. Medaka's perfection is ironically her biggest flaw. Her perfection makes her unhappy and makes her unable to understand human emotions. Her Mary Sue-ness also doesn't come at the expense of other characters, and in fact, it helps develop characters around her, with some characters getting more popular than others. Now, this video, this video tells you everything that you need about Medaka and the character and the brilliance of Medaka Korakami. And Medaka is basically the anti-Mary Sue. Now, Mary Sue, she's the anti-Mary Sue character, if that makes sense. She's a brilliant deconstruction of the whole trope and is basically the story of a god becoming human, much in the same way your typical DC superhero like Superman would try to become human when he can be comparable to a god. Her humanity is often in conflict with her powers, struggling to find the worth of human life. And a good example of a Mary Sue is Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel, on the other hand, is a class of her own that makes her even the worst Mary Sue seems likable in comparison. And sadly, this isn't limited to the MCU. If anything, the MCU, it comes to the portrayal of Captain Marvel is scarily accurate to the comic book version that currently exists. I mean, she somehow gained powers from the Tesseract, which is shown vaporizing humans to ash, even, in every continuity of the MCU. With a small burst of power, meaning that somehow Captain Marvel with no powers has a durability past 2.99 gigajoules, which as we know, the tensile strength and durability of high-rise buildings, which as we know is virtually impossible. Now, humans can be killed with handguns on an average produce of 350 joules of force, yet somehow Carol Danvers survived an explosion that can instantly vaporize humans within the same movie series, and that was merely a concentrated blast. I haven't even encountered this much of an unlikable Gary Stu since Kirito from Sword Art Online. The same guy who never struggles, who never loses, and is unlikable asshole who can be beaten in the game on day one, but instead wastes his 2 years and 4,000 people's lives just to get some pussy. Excuse my language. It says something when you make me hate a character more than Kirito, and that's how much I hate Captain Marvel in the movie. I'd rather watch Sword Art Online than this movie. Just look at the list alone here. I know no hero is perfect, and they have their fair share of fuck-ups, bad moments, or even outright villainous things. But holy fucking shit, Captain Marvel is one of the worst characters in Marvel. Note, I am not going to pretend Miss Marvel is a saint. Hell, some of the shit this list includes her previous continuity, which has her own fair shares of awful deeds, most of them being her actions within the first Civil War comic, as well as the Ultimate Universe. But if Miss Marvel is a douchebag based on her actions, try Captain Marvel, who is the sole reason for Civil War 2. A story so bad, it makes this first Civil War comic look like a masterpiece. And kinda like the movie version. Am I right? Setting up detention centers to arrest those without trial, exploiting children to be part of a secret police of superheroes to arrest people suspended of crime they yet committed, kidnapping children, murdering people over primitive crimes, or pretty much attempting to murder people over crimes that hasn't even happened yet. Getting War Machine killed over primitive strikes, and even killing Tony Stark with no remorse. She tries to arrest and even kill someone like Miles Morales, who was innocent and is an actual paragon hero, unlike this cunt. Now, she has been called out by the narrative and by the people with her. She also learns from her mistakes and develops over time within the manga, becoming more and more human in her quest to have understanding. What's the worst thing she has done? Abusing Zenkichi out of her ignorance and arrogance. Yes, that's how you say it. Yeah. Her arrogance and arrogance. That's pretty much the worst thing she has done. And the price, she has paid with the price. Fucking Captain Marvel literally used child soldiers to arrest American citizens for crimes that didn't commit and killed Iron Man. She also has actual fucking villains who challenge her. Captain Marvel, be it that the god-awful movie or her god-awful comics, has almost no real villains who can challenge her. who can't even challenge her real power nor her worldview. Literally, all the comics I read about her recently usually has been ineffective strawman villains who simply exist just to get punched in the face for yes, queen, slay, virtue, signally points. Medaka, on the other hand, has to fight people as OP as her own, or even more powerful. Now that speaks volumes of how OP this verse is. With each new villain stronger than the last one and even more busted, and forces Medaka to learn new moves or strategies to beat the villains and improve on her already OP abilities. She also has villains who directly challenge her worldview, be it the cruel Uzin, the Doomer Kumagawa, and the monster Hideko. Captain Marvel curb stomps pretty much everyone and everywhere and has never been improved herself. She pretty much is a person who doesn't even have to rely on a final boss or a rival, because Lord forbid we have a hero who actually do any superheroing and is just blindly believe green people who were shown to be bad and that they're the good guys, and then literally portray the people who took her in, potentially destroy her whole civilization, but it's justified because midway through the plot itself rewrites these characters as Saturday morning cartoon villains with no depth or personality. Contrast this with this Medaka sparing as a scumbag like Kumagawa, Uzin, or many other villains she fights. Captain Marvel never wants to improve her techniques, never wants to learn anything, and pretty much the only chance villains have any against her is when she holds back her power. And even when she's masterfully outclassed against much better and stronger characters, hell, she relies on brute force and power and no discipline and technique. And were you supposed to respect her simply because of that? It also helped that Medaka is actually OP as the narrative would like her to be, and there's not an same amount of inconsistency with her power levels either. Captain Marvel can be one day somehow stronger than Hulk or Thor, and the next she gets easily bodied by Calm Hulk. Medaka, on the other hand, is able to always be the strongest, even when fighting opponents as strong as her or stronger than herself, pretty much. As I pointed out, by Captain Marvel's powers, she really nothing that special within the Marvel, the Marvel universe. Going by her track record, she honestly nothing too impressive at all. She just has done anything. She's below Sultar, a character who Thor can beat, therefore proving that she's nowhere near Thor level. She's not even close to Ego the Planet level, who can threaten even Galactus in power. So by extension, she's nowhere near the Sentry's power, who can stalemate a potentially half-failed Galactus. She got bitch slapped by Thanos repeatedly in the comics, even without the Infinity Galactus. She's literally no match for Dormammu, or how you say his name, who is around on Doctor Strange level. She's not even a match for a weakened Galactus on her own as well. Hell, the OG Captain Marvel has done far more impressive feats than the current Captain Marvel. Jesus Christ. It also helps that Medaka is actually likable for the most part and has good intentions and even tries to do good for everyone, even if it's misjudged or misguided at times. As an example of her naivety and overtrusting nature, you actually feel sorry for the fact that despite having everything she wants, she still feels sad because she doesn't have anyone who understands the real her and sees only the superficial shit about her character, and she simply wants to be. Contrast to this, Captain Marvel, who is nothing but a cunt. I already did a whole rant on how awful Captain Marvel the movie is, but this is the tip of the iceberg of how awful Captain Marvel is as a character. Her backstory was a legit garbage in a multiverse where characters suffer life-changing accidents, kidnapped by terrorists, surviving genocides of entire planets, or committing wars against your will. The story you fucking went with is because of some men are meaner than her, and that's the fucking backstory and theme of the movie. Oh, woe is me, to be some upper middle class white woman who never had a legit struggle in her life, always good at it, literally everything, literally aces everyone in one mortgage length, and you expect me to sympathize with her character? What crack are you smoking to think I will give about your first world problems? And I never seen stories far more compelling in Dragon Ball Evolution as out of all things. Dragon Ball Evolution is better than this. This doesn't make Captain Marvel strong. It makes her look like a fucking whiny little bitch who never got past middle school in terms of maturity. If in vast multiverse like Marvel, your only problem is mid-sexist grade school taunting when you literally excel at literally everything humanly possible, and most of these insults don't actually stop her from excelling. That's like if I'm a billionaire who can bodybuild and break the bench press records, break the sprinting records, and can do literally anything possible, and then get bothered by some dickhead that called me the N-word. Does that make me a powerful hero or a fucking thin-skinned, sensitive snowflake bitch? That's precisely how I see Captain Marvel, as Mary Sue with the SJW bullshit agenda, who is too immature and moronic to get over shit that has happened literally decades ago. And this is the lamest fucking hero I have ever seen, being called mean words by stalk bully jerks, hence why she's totally suffered from the patriarchy, despite literally doing everything she has done, slightly of a struggle, and within a single speech. Despite her becoming a ace pilot in the military, despite being a rock climber, race car driver, and pretty much everything she wants to be, clearly she is being oppressed and clearly suffering. Medaka is basically similar to One Punch Man Saitama, another overpowered protagonist who does the OP Mary Sue deconstruction trope right. While far from even close to Medaka in power, he, as a character who is living in hell, having all the power in the world, and not even a single worthy adversary worth fighting within the world, and the world doesn't acknowledge him as a legit hero because of his fluke wins. He goes through a similar character building arc like Medaka, and much like Medaka, starts to get friends and a purpose. Ironically, since Medaka's greatest strength is in itself a weakness, her perfection aligns with her from people, and it's in itself causing Medaka to lose more connection to humanity, causing her to lose people close to her out of fear or jealousy. This is the same perfection lacking of understanding of normal people that makes Medaka, should give her Medaka, I'll just call her Medaka or Medaka, susceptible to being exploited from people with less than moral reasons, or become too overly dependent on Medaka's goodwill and good deeds that it impediments her own progress. If Captain Marvel is worse than colon cancer, and the way not to do OP heroes, Medaka is the polar opposite, especially for female superheroes. Medaka, unestablished,ly feminine, and also unabashedly badass as fuck. So for those who think Medaka is a Mary Sue, look at her at a different light. You have to reread Medaka and understand her character. She's not like Captain Marvel with her OP ass. She's not a Mary Sue like her. She is deeply flawed. She's a flawed protagonist. In fact, she's pretty much the personification of what an OP main character is. An OP main character that always wins. She has a character arc here. She may be the protagonist, but she gets out of that main protagonist syndrome. She becomes more human. She's literally a god amongst men that literally knows how to understand humans and becomes human at the end of the story. So therefore, that will be the end of this video. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know what your thoughts about this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.